That's right. It's time to drop the hammer. Oh, been running down in the corner. Mitchell Moles up front. It's going to lead to charge down the back straightaway. 3 wide out of turn number 2. Chase McDermott down the inside, trying to catfish his way up through, but it's going to be Buddy Kofoid getting the number 3 spot away from him. Down low for Kofoid. Took a shot at Kaylee Bryson. Bryson against the wall. Ricochets off. Continues on her merry way, trying to hang on to the number 2 spot. Teammate back behind. It's going to be T-Mez, the number 7 X car, pestering back behind as well. That highly visible pink car got some company coming out of 0-1 of Bryant Wiedemann down on the inside. Little 3 wide stair step formation. They roll out turn number 4 down the front, shoot hot into the corner, and hang on to it. T-Mez said he'd rather run the top shelf. He said you just kind of back it in and hang on for the ride. He said down the inside you got to think too much. Right now that's what he's trying to do, is hammer the cushion to get himself in one of those podium spots. Buddy Kofoid in the 67 can set her sights once again on that 89 car down into turn number 1. Charging around the top shelf. They'll work to the outside of lap traffic. 19T car down the inside. Hayden Reinbold going to lap down to your race leaders. This time through will be 34 laps to go. Continuing to work the wheel for Mitchell Moles. Moles looking steady Eddie in the number 89 car. Kind of dips down low into turn number 3 and lets it slide out across a little kind of sort of slide job on himself to keep that car hustling along, and that time got tight on the cushion. There's Bryson down the inside. Just that quick. She was on him like a rat on a Cheeto. Down into turn number 1 and 2. She'll give up car lengths. They work to the outside of Taylor Reimer. Reimer tailed the field right there in the 25K car. Continues to work on the inside of the track. Mitchell Moles continues to use that momentum down into turn number 4. Kind of an alternative line there for the number 89 car. Meanwhile, Bryson's going to stick with the cushion top shelf. She'll get tight on the exit out. Turn number 2, catch the wall, and around goes Kaylee Bryson. Does not go over. So Mitchell Moles set to bring the field back to life. Throttles up, and the 4 cylinders of Fury rip their way onto the front straightaway. Swarm of speed back behind, splayed out across the racetrack, out turn number 2 and down the back straightaway, and Moles instantly pulls the gap on Buddy Kofoid to 67, but Kofoid closes down in the corner. Here comes Kofoid out across. Moles kind of checked out of the throttle, and now to get the 67 car on the point. Mitchell right back at him again. Steals the lane away, but he's going to try to turn him back to the inside. They'll come together. Underneath the flag stand, look who else has arrived on scene. It's old Slider Die himself. Here comes T-Mez in the 7X car. Pestering out of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. 1, 2, 3 on the field. Up front, Mitchell Moles back in contention as Kofoid comes up and shuts the door on him. Singed sideburns coming out of turn number 2. Mitchell Moles trying to get back to him again, but now Kofoid's going to dance his way off. Out into turn number 1 and 2. Pulls out by 3 or 4 car lengths. You start to see moisture kind of wick off those rear tires. Taylor Reimer works to the outside of the number 17 car down on the inside of the racetrack. Tanner Berryhill working the tires down low. Kofoid's kind of come to a halt. Rolled up there and didn't really have an option, and that'll allow him to, or cause him, I should say, to drop back into the clutches of Mitchell Moles and number 89 as we got contact to 1 over down in turn number 2. 2 of them over down in turn number 2, I should say. So red flag comes out on the surface with 17 laps remaining. And so far, Kofoid's not giving it to him. He'll bring it around, and the white flag will come out this time by the starter stand. One more voyage of velocity here at Port City Raceway for Buddy Kofoid. Looking to pick up that $7,001 check here at the 3rd annual Workco Manufacturing Annual T-Town Midget Showdown presented by Priority Aviation. Buddy Kofoid is victorious tonight. He'll do it again. Up out of the car he comes, giving a big round of applause. Buddy Kofoid picking up the win. So we'll send it down with Drake.
Buddy, you and Mitchell had a heck of a battle there, and you guys were trading sliders back and forth. How hard was it to clear Mitchell and eventually take the lead?
It's just tough because, it's easy to turn down. So other than that, I figured, I felt like we had the fastest car, and, I figured out, I was probably playing it a little too safe early on. Then I, figured might as well get Cowboy up and started entering 4 over it into 3 and made so much more speed to the center, and just basically drove it like a wing car, just nice and straight, and started riding the brakes a little bit more, and that kept me even more settled. So I feel like this kind of came into my wheelhouse and came into the KKM car's wheelhouse too. These cars are amazing in the rough when you can get it right. So yeah, I can't thank Keith and Peter enough from Keith Coombs Motorsports for giving me an opportunity to drive great race cars, and of course, Mobile One and Toyota wouldn't be able to do it without them. So Jarrett, Tanner, Nate, and Shane, they bust their ass all the time, and they don't give up. So Glad to finally put the kibosh to that 2J streak, and hopefully we can start a streak ourselves.
You mentioned this place in the past as your own personal kryptonite. Now you've won here twice in USAC competition. What's changed?
I feel like we've just come here enough times where we finally got our package right, and at least more to my liking. And this place is really finicky. You'd be surprised. This is one of the, to me, I don't set the car up, but I would imagine as a crew chief, it's pretty tough to get this place. It's such a niche track, and then I finally figured it out, and Jarrett and I just kept putting our heads together, and it worked out. So it's a fun little racetrack. I haven't seen Port City like this before, but worked out.
Buddy Kofoid wins the final night of the T-Town Midget Showdown.